Hey everyone, wanted to take a minute because I'm getting a lot of questions about exactly how the election works in Roswell, what's up for re-election, all the grand jazz. So I wanted to give an overview. So municipal elections take place on off years. Last year was a federal election. Next year will be a federal election. In between that, every 2 years, we have a municipal election in Georgia. 2 years ago, it was the mayor and 3 city council seats. This year, it's the other 3 city council seats. So there are 6 seats in Roswell on city council, and they flip-flop back and forth on which ones we're voting on. They are all at large, which means you do not have to live in a specific area to represent that post. Anybody can apply to any post that they deem that they want to run for. They're not regional, blah, blah, blah. So this fall, there were supposed to be 3 seats up for re-election. Or there are 3 seats up for re-election. One is Sarah Beeson's post. She is an incumbent and currently on council. She ran last year in a special election for a vacated seat. So that means there was only a year left on that seat, so she has to run again. There is another seat up for re-election. That's the one that I am in, and that is also an incumbent. And I am the only one currently filed for that seat. And it's a given that the incumbent is probably running as well, unless they say otherwise. There was a 3rd seat, and that was Mike Palermo's seat. He is not gonna run this year. Hence, when the incumbent states up front they're not gonna run, that opens the seat for anybody else that wants to run. There are currently 4 people that have declared their intent to run for that seat. Whether they actually do or not, we'll find out during qualifying week next week. But in that time, since these 3 were up for re-election, Peter Vanstrom in another seat has resigned his seat. So he is not going to be running again. But even though there were 2 years left on his post. So that means whoever files for that seat, and there are already 2 people, David Johnson and Carol Benda, they will serve a 2-year term before they'll be up for re-election again. So all in all, 4 seats this fall. That's huge. That could be majority. That could be major. And it's very important that we all get out, make our voices heard this November 7th. There will be 3 weeks of early voting prior to that. Last day to register to vote is in October. I'll be sure to get a lot of information out about that to everyone so that you know that you're registered, that you know you can go vote, and that you make a plan to vote this fall, and especially by the deadline of November 7th. Anyway, if you want, please vote for me. Lyndsey Coates, Roswell City Council, Post 3.